What's up, everybody? I got a hot one for you today. I'm going to drop a hot one on you because I love you. Because I love you. There's a guy out here on the tubes named Doug, and I've been watching him. I've been subscribed to him for a few months now. Doug's channel is FOTM1 here on YouTube. FOTM1. FOTM stands for Fellowship of the Martyrs. And I'll link his channel in the sidebar or in the beta. I don't know where the fucking sidebar is anymore, but you'll find it, right? So it's Fellowship of the Martyrs. And Doug is a fucking crazy Christian. Now, Doug made one really popular video, and this is how I found his channel in the first place. He made one really popular video that kind of made its rounds around the dark corners of the internets. He made a video about the game World of Warcraft and how it's a portal for demons to come through and like infect your children and your teenagers and even adults that play the game. And it was so fucking hilarious. Like the video starts out and you think this is a joke. You know, this guy's trolling. He must be trolling. And but as it goes on, you realize he's not trolling. He's not trolling at all. He's serious. You know, Doug talks about like how God came to him and told him, he's like, Doug, you must get a World of Warcraft trial account, and you must minister to the to the denizens of Azeroth, or whatever the fuck. You know, I've played World of Warcraft on and off since it released in 2004. Never for more than like a month or two at a time, because I just get bored with it. And I remember watching this video thinking, why couldn't that have happened on my fucking server? You know, why couldn't I have been wandering around Agramar or whatever the fuck, and some crazy asshole standing on the mailbox telling me how this game is a portal for demons? You know, like, how do I miss out on that? So I watched the video, laughed at it, and completely forgot about the guy. And then a few months down the road, his video pops up again on that new thing that's down at the bottom of my homepage. It says, hey, you watched this, you might like this. And I saw it was Doug's video, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch this again. It's been like 3 months. That's perfect. You know, that's a perfect amount of time for the LOL's battery to recharge, right? About 3 months. It should be nice and juiced up. So I watched it again and laughed again, and I decided I'm going to check out this guy's channel. And when I checked out his channel, I realized that his other videos, a lot of them were even better than the World of Warcraft video. So I've been subscribed for like 3 months. This guy's unbelievable. So I'll preface this by saying that I am, and you may not share this fascination, but I am fascinated by Christianity, by religion in general. And the crazier, the better. Like vanilla Christianity, vanilla religion, people that just kind of go to church and say grace before dinner, and that's boring. But like the people that speak in tongues with their eyes rolling back and they get slain in the spirit and they dance around like idiots while some asshole's beating on a tambourine. I mean, that type of shit, I can't look away. Like I'm so enthralled with it. And the crazier, the better. The crazier, the more interested I am. And Doug is fucking out of his mind crazy. He's nuts. So I like to compartmentalize Christians. I like to separate Christians and religious people in general into little groups. You know, it makes it easier for me. And the vast majority of Christians here in America are kind of a milquetoast Christian. You know, they're like I said, they say grace before dinner, and they're perfectly okay with the whole God works in mysterious ways thing. You know, they're like, the reason that God doesn't appear to us and say, hey, you know, I'm here. The reason that God doesn't speak to us directly is because he wants us to have faith. You know, that's the whole point. He wants there to be no evidence for his existence, and he wants us to believe in him anyway. That's the test. So that's why he doesn't take an ad out on the Super Bowl like, hey, it's God, and this is costing me $2 million a second, so I just wanted to say I'm real. Peace out. Whatever the fuck. You know, he wants to be mysterious. And that type of Christian is kind of boring. And then there's the next step up, which is the Christian that's not content with that. They need some supernatural shit in their lives. Like, they need to have some dumbass story about seeing Jesus on the highway or an angel appearing to them or something. They need to have experienced something tangible when it comes to God. Because the fact that it didn't ever happen, and the fact that it's not repeatable, and that nobody else fucking saw it or would vouch for it, doesn't matter. It gives them a story, and it gives them something tangible to latch onto. When they're questioning their faith, they can snow themselves into thinking that this happened and going, oh yeah, but remember that one time I saw an angel. So, you know, so they need that tangibility. And then there's the level that Doug is on. And Doug is a level above that. There's a level of Christian that's not not only not happy with milquetoast Christianity, he's not happy with just having experienced the supernatural. He's got to be a part of the supernatural. He's got to have superpowers. He's got to be a super Christian. Jesus superpowers and shit. Not only can Doug experience the supernatural, but Doug can influence the supernatural. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I've got something queued up from Doug here. Just listen to what I mean about Doug having superpowers from God.
So I have her sit on the bed and start scanning her. And by scanning, I simply mean just in the spirit, just pressing into the Lord about what is this, what's going on, show me whatever I need to see, and just kind of doing a spiritual x-ray, MRI, however you want to think about it, but just flipping into the spirit, putting on spiritual eyes, and just looking her over real good to see what's going on. And I'm asking the Lord to show me, and He shows me like the pictures in the National Geographic of these African women with gold rings in their neck.
Okay, so Doug has the ability to give people spiritual MRIs. This is what I'm talking about. And there's something about this type of Christian, it's an egotistical thing. It's like, I can't be one of the flock. I can't just be a normal Christian. I've got to be the uber Christian. You know, I've got to be the 1 in a million Christian that God speaks directly to and uses in this very distinct and interesting way. You know, everybody else is content with just coming to church and having their little spiritual experience, but I have to drive that. I have to be a conduit for God. And there's something so fascinating to me about a person like this, because if you go over to Doug's channel, he doesn't look like a crazy person. You know, he doesn't look like an insane person. He looks like a normal person, and he's a grown-ass man. You know, he's a grown-up, and he believes this shit. He believes he can give people spiritual x-rays. And Doug's best videos are his videos on demonology. Doug is a demonologist, right? And I think that's great. I think it's great. Doug's knowledge of demons goes beyond, you know, a layman's knowledge. Doug, it's a full-blown ology with Doug. He's a demonologist. And he does these videos about demons. And I tried. I racked my brain before I made this video to come up with an analogy, and the best one I could come up with was Pokemon. And you'll know what I mean in a minute. But I was never really into Pokemon, but I grew up, you know, I was too old by the time it came out, but I was still, they were everywhere. So I know a little bit about Pokemon. I know the general idea. I know what Pikachu is, you know. And that's how Doug deals with demons. He concocts these wild fucking stories about different demons that exist that are the cause of. I'm going to play you another couple of clips from Doug here, and just let you hear it for yourself.
So I'm asking the Lord, what is this?
Oh, you know what? Before I go on with this video, this is funny. This is hilarious shit. Let me preface this one. Doug is talking directly to the Lord after he gives this woman her spiritual x-ray, and God is telling him the name of this demon that this particular woman has. And God apparently has a really cheesy Saturday morning cartoon, anime, bad action movie aesthetic. I want you to listen to what God names this demon.
And he says it's Python. And I'm like, okay. I know that I needed to be on the lookout for it. I knew it was out there. I'd never seen one before. Didn't know what it did, whatever. But he calls it by a different name and calls it siphon. And I'm like, S-Y-P-H-O-N? He says, no, P-S-Y-P-H-O-N. As in psi, as in the mind, fawn, whatever. So it...
Oh, that's fucking awesome. So God is like, yo, Doug, this demon is called Python, right? It's called... But I call it siphon. And Doug is like, siphon? Like what I used to siphon my gas? And God's like, nah, siphon like P-S-Y, like psychic. You know what I mean? And then fawn like whatever. That's my favorite part. When he's like, psi like, you know, the mind, like psychic, and fawn like whatever. It's so fucking great. Like, oh, and back to the Pokemons. I want you to listen to Doug describe the Python demon.
as I began to tune in more and see it more and more clearly, it was on the back of this person. It had arms with one talon up above, latched in through the back. And they might be in lungs, they might be in the heart, and the lungs, they might be throat, whatever, but one single talon on each arm, and then one single talon on each leg in lower organs, and they would be latched into kidney, spleen, bladder, whatever down below. It had a long tail with a barb
down below. Cock, balls, taint. This is a grown-up. This is a grown-up that presumably has a normal job, a mechanic or maybe a janitor or a fucking teacher or he's a normal person. A grown-up. And this is what he does. This video that I'm taking little clips out of is 35 minutes long, and he's done like 8 of them. He's made up all these little demons, and he knows how they look and how they act, and he claims he can see them with spiritual x-rays, and they're the cause of all these different ailments, you know, like he's got a demon that's responsible for fear and anxiety, you know, intangible shit like that, and a demon that's involved in like urinary tract infections and anal warts, all kinds of fucking shit. It blows my mind. I cannot stop watching this shit. And it's absolutely fucking crazy to me that there's a functional human being that grew up in the same reality that I grew up in. The same fucking world, the same trees, the same sky, the same grass, the same fucking internet, the same TV channels, and he's this far off the fucked up charts. I can't stop watching it. So, I recommend you go check Doug out. It's worth a look. And until next time, I just keep hearing that "Gotta Catch 'Em All" song. Doug and his crazy demonic Pokemon. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.